Hey, this is Brian from Wright732.com, and I threw a question out there. Basically throw me some ideas. What are you looking for me to talk about? And something that resonated came from one of my followers named Ryan Zaleski, and the main point that he was asking about was people, not appreciating things until they're gone, and that really resonated with me quite heavily. And if you've been following my blog, I was posting something about, having a death in my life and a major effect it had on me. And quite honestly, that fits right into what Ryan threw out there, and I'm going to speak a little bit about that today. So here's the deal. I had a person very close to me that I cared about a lot that passed away. He was my mother's husband, and he was someone that was in my life for a lot of my formative years. He was someone that I spoke to a lot. He was a bit of a mentor in a lot of ways for me. Now, he died in his mid-60s from Parkinson's, and it was about a 6-year struggle with it. And if anyone that's dealt with Parkinson's, it's a pretty horrible disease because physically you're degenerating, but your brain is really fine. So you're not losing your mind. You have all your mental faculties, but each system of your body breaks down one by one. So I got to see basically a 200-pound man whittle away to about 125 pounds when he finally passed. And I don't want to get into the details and everything, but the main communication that we had about that I feel is relevant for this conversation is that if you asked him at the end, what did he find was important? What did he want out of it all? What makes sense? The whys of your life in a lot of ways. He only cared about two things. One, he wishes he had more time because he had a lot of plans. He had plans, for the long term. He had things he wanted to do once he retired, and he really didn't get an opportunity to retire because of his age. He was trying to transition his business over to his kids, but there was things going on there, so he had to stay involved in the business. My mother wasn't in a position to retire from her business, so he was kind of stuck in limbo where it was like he wanted to retire and go do things, but he put it off because he felt like he had time. And then he got sick, and then he had no time. So his biggest regret was not making the decision a lot earlier to follow the path of doing the things that he wanted versus doing the thing that became comfortable, that was providing so many different things. And then the other one was he wishes he had a better relationship with his kids. That's a real simple one. He felt that in the position he was when he passed, he just didn't have the stability in the relationship, the depth of the relationship that he wished he could have. And that speaks volumes to us that are looking at time and looking at relationships. So appreciating something until it's gone. Imagine being in a position where you think you're going to retire and go live for another 20, 30 years doing whatever you want because you've acquired so much to afford yourself the opportunities that you've been putting off. You gambled your youth for the payoff in your senior years, and then you get sick, and then none of it really amounted to what you wanted it to, and then it spirals into whatever it is it's going to become. So instead of sacrificing, let's not say sacrificing, but instead of gambling with the time that we have right now for this theoretical time that we're hoping will come, why not do the best we have with what we have and take the lessons of every person that's gotten old and passed and every person that's been young and gotten sick and passed. It's the same message every time. Talk to every 80-year-old. They don't talk about the money they made. They talk about the things they didn't do, the things they wish they did when they had the physical ability to. When you talk to someone that's young and that passes, they say, I wish I appreciated the time that I had more because I'm not getting any more. So it doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever. You don't know how much time you have. So the message is absolutely embrace the time you have. Do the things that you're passionate about instead of all these other gambles that we make to acquire so that we can live this theoretical future, because who knows? We don't know what's going to come. So the message of the old and of those that have died is always the same. Let's stop trying to reinvent the light bulb, listen to their message, and start living accordingly, because every generation keeps reinventing life. We keep reinventing the same revelations at the same points. Why don't more of us wake up to the realities that the 80-year-olds, the 90-year-olds are telling us? Why are we not waking up to the reality that the sick young have passed on to us? We keep acting like we're going to live forever when none of us are going to live forever. We don't know how long we're going to be here. So let's embrace the moments that we have and do the best that we can. And let's understand that everything we do is really our legacy. So how we do things from early through as long as we've got is going to be what we're remembered for. And if being remembered is something that you find important, you got to act accordingly today. Don't act like you can clean it up tomorrow, because right now is really all we've got. It's kind of a broken record message that there are so many people that say, but I personally experienced a person that required more wealth than anyone else I personally know in his life, and he would have given it all up for another moment of time. It could have been a minute more, or it could have been years more. He just wanted more, something more, so that he could have achieved some of the relationship goals more important than the wealth, management goals that he hit. So it's not how much you make, but it's how you make your money in the end that's going to matter most. So when you're 80, you're going to be wishing you did more when you had the opportunity. So do as much as you can, so you're not wishing for so much. So Ryan, thanks for the question, and I hope I made an impact.